Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Greetings from the East Coast. I am currently, as you are watching this, I am currently on the East Coast. So as you can kind of tell. So here's the scoop for today. Let's talk about the impact of clear communication and clear meeting expectations. What happens, how this ties into having a positive energy workplace and a workplace where people want to really be a part of your work, who feel safe to be a part of your work, who feel productive, who feel excited to be a part of your company, all that good stuff. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by my filter. Okay, back to you. So here's the deal. One of the things that we're noticing with our meetings, and this happens with a lot of the clients that we work with, is that meetings start to get shorter. We need less and less of them. We're finishing them up faster and faster. And we have regular reports from our clients that they cut their meetings. They cut them. In fact, I think the best we've ever seen was a company that they cut 7 hours of meetings a week per person because they started to use the IEP methodology to make sure that everyone was showing up, present, on time, and intentional in their meeting. So this is the impact of what happens when you have clear communication and you have clear expectations for your meetings. All right. So here's what we find, and this is not just me. This is also related to all the data that's out there in the world right now. But there's a study that recently came out. I think it was Grammarly that put it out, that talked about the average employee spends about, I think it's 7/8 of a day, like almost a full day a week, in doing rework, repeating themselves, following up, things that happen from not having clear communication and clear meeting expectations. So about a week, it's not 7/8, it's about a week, almost a day of the week. That is what it costs companies in order to address rework and all the things that are happening. So that's one thing. The 7/8, I was in my mind, it's $7.8 billion a year, I believe, is what it's costing us in order to do rework and whatnot. So we want to get away from that. All right. So I'm back. I've got to reboot a little bit. I'm going to do reboot instead of stopping this and starting over. We're just going to keep going. Got a little distracted with numbers. I didn't have those numbers in front of me. Just as we're sitting here talking about it, that's what's occurring to me, is how much time we waste. I wasn't even thinking about this when I was thinking about this topic, but just how much time we waste in rework that comes from unclear communication and not clear meeting expectations. So there you go. So if you want to do the money around that for your company, it's significant, not to mention the dishearteningness that comes for your team and the frustration and just the quiet quitting that's going to occur if you continue to have non-clear communication and non-clear meeting expectations, because nobody wants it. You don't want it. I don't want it. All that good stuff. So, all right. The other stat I was going to give you was that we're spending about 2.5 hours a day in drama. This is from Cy Wakeman's study. This was done a couple of years ago. She said 2.5 hours a day in drama. I actually think it's a lot higher than that, to be honest with you. I think that's pretty low with some of the stuff that I'm seeing right now. And drama is characterized as, I look at drama as any noise that is going on with the team, where they're not talking, they're kind of starting to make up stories. They're starting to go down rabbit holes around what may or may not be happening. It's really not present conversations. It's drama talking about people behind their back. It's drama talking about how bad that meeting was. It's drama talking about their frustration with their leaders. They're frustrated with their company. They're frustrated with their culture, that kind of stuff. Conflict that's not productive, that's drama. So we're spending like 2.5 hours a day in things that aren't focused and productive. So that's costing you a lot of money as well. So other things to be paying attention to that are going to get in the way of you having productive meetings that are costing you a lot, not only from a financial standpoint, but from a morale standpoint, are when people are showing up late to your meetings. When they show up, they're unprepared, they're multitasking, they're veering off topic. Veering off topic, I gotta say, that's my favorite one to do. I'm not gonna lie. That is definitely the one that I am working on, because I can get going, as you've seen in these videos. So veering off topic, getting off the agenda, not putting it in the parking lot, like that's costing you more than time. It's actually costing your team their mental bandwidth and frustration, which frustration's energy. It's an energy drain. So we want to get away from that. Let's see. Not having an agenda, not being clear on intentions, having unnecessary attendees showing up in your meeting, people that just don't need to be there. These are all contributing to a lack of clear communication and meeting expectations. And so they're going to exhaust your team. They're going to exhaust your team. So we want to get away from that. Okay. We want to get away from that. So how do you do it instead? What do you want to do instead? I mean, I have to say that when we do the positive energy workplace diagnostic, this is repeatedly one of the areas that scores low for companies. In fact, I know a few companies that they're like, oh, I love our meetings and I am so excited about our meetings and we finish our meetings on time and we're so efficient. We only need to meet once to do stuff. That's pretty rare. If you're in that bucket, congratulations. You want to continue to build upon that and make sure that you keep that magic, but also continue to amplify it because there's even more that you can do. So here are some things you want to start paying attention to if you want to have clear communications and meeting expectations. First of all, make sure you have an agenda and that you get the right people in the meeting. Make sure that everyone understands any kind of pre-work that has to be done so everyone can show up fully prepared. If you show up fully prepared, on time, and present, right there, think about that. Fully prepared, on time, present. You do that, you are ahead of the game. Right there, those three things. You want to add even more to that. Make sure that your team shows up having already set their intentions for what they want to get out of the meeting, how they want to show up in the meeting, what outcomes they want to have, how they want to have people to feel. If you look at the IEP methodology, we've got the 5 steps to intentional impact, which is a very lovely formula that is designed to help people create their intended impact, either in a one-on-one conversation, a team meeting, for a presentation, for, oh my gosh, for a hard conversation, feedback, keynotes, anything. I did one for this, even though today I am a little bit distracted by this data and my background. All right, so doing your IEP sheet, many of you know the IEP sheet, doing your IEP sheet before the meetings, you can have your team do that. If you do a session with your team, and this is one of the reasons why we're really going extra right now and promoting the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, because in the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, if you have your team involved in that, you all have resources, you all have access to how to have better team meetings, how to manage conflict, how to give feedback. And the team can be on that platform and can actually start to work together on the things that we're talking about. So if you're not on the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, that's fine. You've got an invitation to get in there. Just contact us. We'll figure out how to get you in. But if you're not in that, then at a minimum, you just want to start thinking about the things we're talking about in these videos. How do you set your team up to be more intentional going into your meetings? An ounce of prevention is worth 20 pounds of cleaning stuff up. And if you multiply that by 5 people on your team meeting, 10 people on your team meeting, I hope you don't have more than 10 people in your meetings. I hope you don't have more than 6. You really want to start looking at how big your team meetings are. But this also applies to town halls and very large meetings. Just think about the cost of every single person in your meeting and what it costs to have them there from a time standpoint, lost opportunity standpoint, creativity standpoint, mental energy standpoint, not to mention them not being in front of customers, all that stuff. It all adds up. So if you're going to have people in your meetings, make sure your communication is very clear and make sure that you're really clear about your expectations so people know what to expect when they're coming to the meeting and what they're going to be responsible for and what they're walking away with. So there's so many things. If you apply the 5 steps to intentional impact at your next meeting, it will be a very different meeting. For those of you that try that, please let me know how it goes. I'll be very curious. This is one of my favorite things to hear back from people when they actually apply the methodology to what they're doing and how much it changes the game in changing the energy of the team and the trajectory of their results. So much fun. Okay. Anything else I want to say today on this one? I've got to get into meetings. Anything else I want to say on this one? I think that I'm going to leave it here with an invitation to reach out if you'd like to talk about how to integrate this work into your organization or into your team. We've got an executive forum coming up next week, actually, the 28th of July. If you missed that one, we hold these every quarter. So go ahead and get yourself signed up. Let me put executive forum. Here you go. Executive forum is right here. You can go ahead and get signed up and get on the wait list for the next one. We'll go ahead and send you an invite if it looks like it's the right forum for you to be in. And the other thing that you can do is just reach out and contact my team if you're interested in talking about how this work can support you in your organization. We are looking for 10 really great organizations to work with this year at the end, to join our upcoming cohort that we're going to be putting 10 companies through at the same time to go through getting into the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative and potentially even going for their certification. So if that's interesting to you, reach out. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No commitment. Just we'll talk about it and see if it seems like it's a good fit. If you're on triage mode where your team right now is falling apart and everything is, you've just gone through reorganization and people are exhausted and you don't even know which way is up, it's a good time to reach out. If you're on optimization mode because everything is going really, really great and you want to make sure that you keep your momentum and you want to get even better at it and really, really fortify your culture so you guys continue to create better and better results, it's a great time to reach out. And if you're kind of in the middle where you're looking at how do we develop more of our leadership, how do we really grow our upcoming leaders, how do we fortify our current existing leaders, how do we give them more of the skills that Anise is talking about around their presence, their intentions, how they're showing up, how they're leading meetings, it's a good time to reach out. So it's always a good time to reach out if you're serious about creating really, really great impact in the world. And if you're serious about creating a workplace that is awesome to work at. Okay, take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. I'm off. Bye-bye.